So you may and you may not know this, and the insurance regulatory body of whatever is going to want to watch this video, but there are times when you should file a claim, and there are times when you should not file a claim. That's right. We all know it's got to be sudden and accidental, but sometimes it just may not be worth it. So I'm going to get to you right now, and I'm going to explain to you when it's time to file a claim and when it's time to not file a claim. Great video for homeowners and public adjusters alike. Let's get right into it right now in 3, in 2, in 1. What's up, advocates? Welcome back to another episode of the Commercial Claims Show. I'm your host, Vince Perri. I'm the owner of Elite Resolutions and Commercial Claims Advocate. And we're going to talk about when it's good to file a claim and when it's not good to file a claim. Very little touchy subject, because you would think that anytime a loss occurs is a good time to file a claim. But sometimes it is not the best time to file a claim because frankly, it may not be worth it. But before we get into it, subscribe below to our channel where we've got our ever-growing channel where we've got all kinds of content for the last 3 years. There's a lot of stuff. You're going to want to go ahead and get into the rabbit hole of the Commercial Claims Show. That is for sure. Go to commercialclaimsadvocate.com and check out all of our events and all of our consulting that we provide public adjusters and firms all over the country, and Elite Resolutions, where if you'd like to come work for us or if you just have a claim question, policy review, anything like that, we're glad to help you out. So everybody needs an attorney on their side. So whether you're a public adjuster, a contractor, or anyone else in the insurance claims business, make sure that you have an attorney that you could rely on, that you can go to for questions whenever you need it. That guy for me for the last 12 years has been David Farber. David Farber is the owner of the Farber Law Firm, and he has been there for me from the beginning of my career until now. And I would love for him to be able to help you as well. So make sure you call him at this number here and visit his website so you can learn more about the amazing David Farber of the Farber Law Firm. I had been looking for an accountant for years, and I was unable to find anybody that I liked, that I worked with, and was able to do what I needed to be done to my taxes and to my accountant. Jeremy David at Noble Wealth has been a godsend to me, my family, and my company. We have saved so much money in taxes I can't even begin to describe, and he knows what he's doing. You need to call Jeremy at Noble Wealth and get yourself the right accountant, because he's the man who's going to help you save on taxes. Because ultimately, you don't want to be making money, especially if you're self-employed, and having it all go to the IRS. Call Jeremy, call Noble Wealth, and they will help you tremendously with the entire accounting process and your tax situation from A to Z. Let's get right into it. So like I said, it's not only important to know when to file a claim, but it's also important to know when not to file a claim. You have to understand, if you file a lot of claims, that ultimately makes you high risk. Now, what does the underwriting department do in the insurance company? They have equations and all these algorithms and different things that determine the level of risk of writing insurance for a particular state, city, town, and home, and neighborhood, depending on the risk. So an insurance company that writes in the Midwest may not write in South Florida, because they understand that in South Florida, a lot more hurricanes happen and there are higher risk. Same thing goes for if you file a claim today and then you file a claim next year and then you file another claim a year later. Or like with auto, same thing, guys. Just to give you guys a background, if you're a 16-year-old driver, newly driver, they understand that that's going to be higher risk. So what are they going to do? Charge you more of a premium. You have to pay more because the risk of a loss occurring is higher. The more claims you file, the higher risk you have of increased insurance rates or getting dropped completely and having to shop for new insurance. So it's not always worth having to file a claim. So I'm going to give you 3 scenarios here and maybe another one. So scenario number one is when it's just not worth it, right? So if you have a high deductible and you have a small repair that needs to be done, then it's not worth filing a claim. The example I always like to give is the single bathroom. It's like the guest bathroom in your hallway or the guest bathroom when you walk into a house. A lot of times there's not a shower, right? It's a toilet, it's a sink, it's some tile on the floor, and that's pretty much it. But let's say there's also a bathtub, whatever, no big deal. Normally, if you've got damage to it, to repair, to just completely remodel a bathroom of that size is going to cost you between $5,000 and $10,000. If you have a $5,000 deductible and you suffer water damage to that bathroom, it's not going to be worth filing an insurance claim, because after the deductible comes out, you'll be lucky, and I say lucky because you may not even surpass your deductible, but you'll be lucky to just get a couple $1,000s. If that's worth it to you, fine. I will tell you as a representative, it wouldn't be worth it for me, not only as a homeowner, but it wouldn't be worth it for me as an adjuster. So if the math just does not make sense, I have had hurricane claims. The deductible is usually on a percentage basis. You want to be at a 2% deductible. I have walked into houses with a 10% hurricane deductible. It's almost like, why? Why even put the claim on your record when you already know to replace your whole roof, it could cost whatever your deductible is? So you have to outweigh the replacement costs of doing everything versus what your deductible is. I think that's really, really what you want to see. And that's a good reason to call a public adjuster, because as a public adjuster, we only charge and we only make money if the homeowner. So if a public adjuster's ever come to you and ask you for money up front, what they're doing is most likely illegal. We are strictly contingent, and we get paid a percentage off what you get. And normally, at least in Florida, it's after the deductible is taken out. So if I go in and we file a bathroom claim and it's a $5,000 claim and you have $5,000 deductible, I've just wasted all that time and not made any money. So it's good to call someone like us, a public adjuster, and we can help determine that for you. We could make that sort of call and say, hey, look, this is not worth it for you. Here's my card if anything else happens. Or friends and family, I know if this is to public adjusters, I have gotten more referrals from claims I've walked out of than claims I've actually helped on, because of the honesty that you give them. So if the replacement cost does not exceed the deductible, don't do it. Situation number 2. I get this call all the time. Hey, I had an insurance. I called a contractor and they did this repair. And now as a result of this repair, or as a result of this installation, now this damage is being caused. Be careful. If the cause of the loss, if the cause of the issue is as a result of faulty workmanship, faulty construction, then it's not covered under your insurance policy. If, however, it's as a result of a wind event, water damage, pipe burst, or anything like that, then it is covered. But if something has been happening to your home and it is a direct result of construction repairs or constructional work, it is not covered under your insurance policy. So be careful. A lot of times I get clients who said, hey, I called the insurance company, I filed a claim, and I told them that the people who did this installation didn't do it right, and now that's what's caused the damage. Why did they deny me? Because that is not covered under your insurance policy. So that's a call I get all the time. So that's situation number 2, to not file a claim. Call the contractor. See if you can work it out with the contractor. And the contractor probably has his own insurance. Maybe it's an insurance that he can go and he can actually do, even though it may not be, that's probably not covered under his insurance either. But, maybe you could sort of work it out with them, or you're going to have to eat it and you're going to have to do the repairs yourself, unfortunately. Situation number 3 is, I'm going to say situation number 3 is anything that's been happening over time. Please do me a favor. If you call me and I ask you, when did you first notice the damage? Well, I noticed it several years ago. I just didn't think anything of it, and now I want to file a claim. Do me a favor. Just walk away. Do the repairs yourself. Don't file a claim. Sudden and accidental is the most important thing I can teach anyone before filing an insurance claim. It cannot be wear and tear or pre-existing damage or happening for a long period of time. Situation number 4, I would say, I've had claims where we filed a claim, we got it settled, and we filed another claim. I've had a claim where we filed a claim, and in the middle of that claim, we had to file another claim. I always say shit happens. But if you could avoid filing more than one claim every 10 years or so, I would try to avoid it. Okay. And again, it's not to say that you can't. You can file 3 claims. You can file 4 claims. It doesn't matter. Again, I've had clients where we filed 3 claims in 10 years, but that was out of necessity. Things actually happen. Shit actually happens. But if it is a claim, and it goes back to number 1, if you have a claim, how about I'll say this. If you have a claim that obviously it's worth it and it is what it is, and then another claim occurs and it's much smaller, you might just want to stay away. A lot of times too, a claim that you're already working on, it sort of blends in. It might include the floor, it might include the roof or whatever it is, then you want to avoid that second claim. So you don't want to file too many claims. It really is what it is. And I like to say you should only file about one claim every 10 years or so. So that leads me to closing off this video of tips for deciding when to file a claim. When should you file a claim? When you should file a claim is, I always like to say there's about 3 or 4 things. If you have the argument for a full roof replacement, full flooring replacement throughout your house, and kitchen cabinet replacement, if your claim includes any of those 3 things, then you should probably file the claim. Because again, your deductible is going to range from $1,000 to $2,500, maybe $5,000, depending on if it's a percentage or not. And a new roof's going to cost anywhere between, I don't know, $15,000 and $30,000. New flooring is going to be around $30,000. Cabinets are going to be around $15,000 to $20,000. I'm looking at it from I'm trying to explain this from like a strictly like a business decision, I guess it is what it is. Again, it is a sudden accidental event and it shouldn't be treated as a business decision, but I'm just giving you my honest opinion as a business owner in this industry. It's not going to be worth it for you or for anyone if you don't include any of those 3 things. So that's the time to file a claim. Oh my God, look at what happened. Water pipe burst, but it stayed inside of the bathroom and I was able to dry it out, and I called a plumber, and for $200 he repaired he repaired the pipe, and in order to fix the drywall, it's a patch and repaint and I'm done. Then don't file a claim. But if that water causes damage of wood flooring and it's traveling underneath your wood floor, you've got the potential for mold. You're gonna have to gut the entire house, and the floor runs underneath the kitchen cabinets. Like those things lead into something else. Then it's good to file a claim. My biggest tip of them all, and I am biased, but I think you could see how complicated these situations get, is call a professional. Call a licensed public adjuster in your area to go ahead and take a look at it. Again, it's not worth it for us to go out to file and submit a claim that we're not going to get paid on. So call a professional to give you an honest opinion as to whether or not a claim should be filed. And that's it. Those are the situations, right? So if the replacement cost does not outweigh the deductible, if it is a maintenance issue, if it is a contractor installation issue, if it is a maintenance and wear and tear issue, or if you're just filing too many claims, those are 4 reasons why you shouldn't file a claim. And when you should file a claim is if you're including your roof, kitchen cabinets, and flooring. That's it. Additional living expenses is one of the most difficult parts of an insurance claim. And the reason is it's very high pressure. And as a public adjuster or contractor, you're already dealing with the negotiating of the build back process. You don't want to have to deal with ALE as well. Black Diamond Housing Services does all of that. They don't even charge the client. They bill it directly to the insurance company. It's all covered under the ALE coverage. So you need to call Black Diamond if you have a house that has been severely lost, whether it's like severe mold, severe water, fire, or anything like that, where they need a place to stay. Call Black Diamond Housing Services and they'll be able to take care of your client from beginning to end. If you're struggling and waiting forever and a day to get paid on your claims because you have to wait for the mortgage company, you have to wait for the client, you have to wait for all of these things, Iink Payments by Iink solves that for you. By simply uploading it onto their system, everything gets processed and you get directly deposited your fee into your bank account. Choose Iink Pay and make sure that you use the promo code VINCE so that you can get $299 off the initial registration fee. So go ahead and check it out, Iink Payments. We've been using it for a long time. That's what we got, people. I hope you learned a lot on that one. I thought that was pretty good. My name is Vince Perri. I'm the Commercial Claims Advocate. Again, you go on commercialclaimsadvocate.com. We've got events all over the country. We got our big one in Miami, and then we consult and train PAs all over the country. And then also Elite Resolutions. If you have any questions, if you're a homeowner, you've got any questions, we've got a section on our website where you could ask any questions. We do free policy review, and if you're interested in working for us, please, by all means, shoot us a message. You can fill out an application, and we can consider hiring you. So that's what we got, guys. Content Wednesday is over. On to the next week. I hope you all have a great week. Goodbye. Peace out.